Hello everyone and welcome to Big Talk on Global Television. I remain your host, Eddie and Michael. Today we'll be taking a look at agricultural sector where we're having a rise of food insecurity in the country, agitations of hunger, protests by citizens, and all of these has been a concern of the president to tackle insecurity, the issue of food insecurity. Recall that July the president declared state of emergency on agriculture, asking many states and people to go back to farm, and of course putting some mechanism by, of course, sharing of grains to state and other local government areas in a bid to curb the issues of food insecurity. All of these, we'll be taking a look at it briefly tonight on the Big Talk on Global Television. My host today is a very senior special assistant to the Senate President on Youth Development, Honorable Emmanuel Amama. Good to have you on the show, Honorable.
Yeah, thank you.
Quite very impressive. The president has been making a move to making sure that there is food sufficiency in the country. What has been the analysis so far since he came into board as the president of the country?
Actually, we are witnessing the covenant of renewed hope in Nigeria, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just like he promised of taking Nigeria to the next level, we have actually witnessed that he has put his feet on ground to make sure that government is gets going concerns. And actually, it is no more business as usual. Talking about food unavailability and food unavailability in Nigeria, I would want to say that actually Nigeria should have no business with food insufficiency. Looking at the population of Nigeria and looking at the youth population, that's actually my concerns. So I want to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing well, and is, just like the government is being a go-getting concerns, is going to make sure that we are not lagging behind as far as agriculture is concerned.
All right, let's take a look at the fact that he made effort by declaring state of emergency last year and asked state governors and, of course, the people to go back to see how they can encourage agriculture. From the analysis, it seems that we're not having more cooperation from the state and local government areas joining hands with the president to drive this. Yeah,
the more reason why I'm here. It is not just the business of Mr. President. All hands have to be on deck. Government's hands must be on deck, and it has to be the business of all Nigerians. And I'm coming here to woo the youths of Nigeria to make sure that we actually focus our attention in agriculture. Agriculture is serious business, and agriculture is feeding a whole lot of nations. If the Nigerian youths can focus on agriculture, we can feed the whole of Africa. And so we have a whole lot of land mass, to see how we can trade on agriculture. And so I'm coming here as a serious business to see how I can talk to Nigerian youths to refocus their attention on agriculture.
There are quite a lot of concentration on oil, and it seems that we are running out of oil, as you said. There is a need for us to also go back, because prior to this time, agriculture was the mainstay of the people. People were surviving on agriculture. When we lost this focus gradually to start focusing on oil and losing it completely, and now we're having food insecurity in the country.
In the 70s, we had Nigeria, being sustained by agriculture.
Exactly.
It is not the oil that sustained Nigeria in the 70s. And Nigeria was actually doing well. That's when one naira was equal to $1. And so the issue of oil is not only until oil is dried away that we have to go back to agriculture. They say a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah. So we have to go back to agriculture, and we have to encourage the youths. President Bola Tinubu has doled out series of programs as far as the agricultural ministry is concerned to make sure that Nigerian youths are being encouraged to go back to farm. And therefore, it is just to encourage the Nigerian youths to make sure that we assess the facilities in agriculture and make sure that we go back to farm so that we can put food on our table. We have no business with food insufficiency as far as our population is concerned in this country.
So how can the youth put themselves very strategic, to get involved in a drive like this? Because you quite understand that it has to do with government engagement. Because sometimes if you understand the local farmers are producing, but they are having the issues of transportations of moving their food of some of those their production down to the cities, and you understand that it's also causing an effect to the farmer. But they need someone, they need government present to drive, to lead in order for them to come in. So the young people are waiting probably to see how the government can actually give direction for them to be able to come in. But how can the youth, be strategic in, of course, partnering with government or coming in to get involved?
By the grace of God, I'm coming up with initiative that would actually engage the youths as far as farming is concerned. Look at the time, we're already in March, and so if you go to the local communities, they must have started farming, because rain have started dropping, in some parts of the country. And so I am coming up with an initiative, not just me. I'm making serious consultations with some youth stakeholders across the country to see how we are going to come up with initiatives to launch get the youth informed about certain government programs that actually have been launched out to encourage farmers. There have been funds to be released to farmers, improved seedlings to be released to farmers, so that we can have a good harvest. And then fertilizers are going to be sold in a rate lesser than what it ought to be. And then a whole lot of programs are there. So I'm coming up with a whole lot of ideas, launch some programs and schemes that are going to get Nigerian youth informed about government programs as far as agriculture is concerned. And it's going to be a get-going concern. It's going to be a serious business concern.
So the youth should be alerting, of course.
Yes, exactly. To key into all these government programs.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Another concern has been the issue of insecurity in so many quiet states, and this has discouraged farmers. Like you look at Benue, we're having farmers not going to the farm because of insecurity. Don't you think it's also a concern that government must begin to address so that the farm can be safe?
Exactly. I want to think that the issue of insecurity, government is really giving serious attention to it. And just for a start, if we talk about food insufficiency today, why can't we start with subsistence farming? Why can't we just make sure that there's food on our table? In everybody's
family.
Yes, everybody around your premises, whatever you can do to make sure you put food on your table. Imagine what is happening on the social media. People will be looting trucks loaded with food, warehouses and all of that, just to make sure they put food on their table. Could that be the cause? There could be the energy that we use in doing all of this. We can use that to make sure we get back to the farm and make sure we produce one thing or the other. From animal husbandry to food and all of that, we can do something. We just don't have to be lazy and feel that, food will just fly from nowhere and be on our table. We have to get back to the farm. Let's start from subsistence. Put food on our table first, and then we'll go into the larger business of agriculture. So that's where I'm coming from.
Quite a very fantastic move and steps by Senior Special Assistant to the Senate President on youth development to tackle the issues of food insecurity. Well, fantastic point about going into subsistence farming. But what are your last scope of analysis regarding to agriculture and the hope that Nigerians should continue to have on the government of President Bola Tinubu to drive the hardship out of this country? Because quite very frankly, people are hungry, Honorable.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like I would say, Nigerians have to look at the drive they can give themselves. Government will do its parts, but the part to encourage Nigerians and Nigerians being encouraged has to come from Nigerians. We are good-spirited people, and therefore nobody should bring that negative, tendencies to see how to make people feel that government is not doing right. No, like I said, this is the time of the renewed hope. What is the essence of renewed hope? If you carry a ball up, it must bounce before the ball gets up again. And so this is the time for Nigerians to know that as the ball is bouncing, we have to get back to the ground. All of us, it's not just the business of only people in government or the government business. All hands must be on deck. Let us face agriculture and know that agriculture can provide for this country.
The move and struggle is to get agriculture to work, and of course it seems there is quite a lot of hope if government and the people as well can also see the need to prioritize agriculture at their different tiers, and of course at different sector, different state and local government that we are having. That is a message from Senior Special Assistant to the Senate President on Youth Development. What's the last message to Nigerians in a time like this? And I understand you are really hammering on agriculture.
Yeah, I actually want Nigerians to be encouraged. I want Nigerians. I want Nigerians to have hope. We are in the times of renewed hope. That's the agenda, and I want to promise Nigerians that definitely President Bola Tinubu has bounced back, and the Nigerian economy is actually bouncing back.
So we are sure of policies even from the Senate and to the President that will enhance.
Definitely laws, legislations that have been made looking at the budget, the Nigerian budget of 2024 is quite encouraging.
To resume.
Yeah.
Many thanks, Honorable Emmanuel Amama, Senior Special Assistant to the Senate President on Youth Development, for joining us on the show on Big Talk on Global Television. We look forward to having you more for this conversation.
Thank you so much. I'll be coming back and back.
See the development in the agricultural sector.
No problem.
We'll go on a short break right away.
Yes. Okay,
Of course, so many issues and, of course, concerns about food insecurity in the country. But just as we've heard from the Senior Special Assistant to the Senate President, there's quite a lot of move to tackle food insecurity. The President last year declared state of emergency on agriculture. And it's a bit that concern that everyone must come together to join hands to see how we can actually make food sufficient in the country. Quite wonderful point made by him about issues of subsistence farming. If we all go back to farms and, of course, have what to put on ground, there is a need and there is a food coming on our table tomorrow, and it's a drive and a campaign for everyone to get involved in agriculture. Policies are underway about the Senate and, of course, the President to assent to all of those bills and motions regarding agricultural development. And that is much we will take on Big Talk tonight on the issues of agriculture and the President Bola Tinubu's administration. My name remains Edikan Michael, your host. See you again tomorrow.